Hello everyone, my name is Axel and I'm here to talk about how educators can use contemporary teaching pedagogies and provide children with a range of experiences to best support their multiliteracy and development. To do this, I have found two research articles that can hopefully guide educators to improve their beliefs and practices towards children's learning and development. The first article that I'd like to talk about is by Vidal Hall et al. 2020, where the study actually takes place in the UK. Despite taking place in the UK, the study site is at a play-based school with a child-led curriculum, similar to how the early years learning frameworks state that play-based learning is a key concept as it allows children to co-construct learning and understanding. Australian Government Department of Education, or AGDE for short, 2022, page 8. The study then continues to explain that the lead educator involved in the study, whose alias is Vicky, did not believe that digital technologies could help improve children's learning in a child-centered and play-based curriculum. However, after trying to use the digital technologies in both planned and unstructured play, alongside intervention with the researchers, which involved collaborative reflective sessions, Vicky was actually able to change her beliefs about digital technologies and actually found that it was able to support children's oral language development. For example, one of the technologies that was introduced to Vicky is actually interactive whiteboards. Vicky found a program that allowed children to type using her PC keyboard to make the words appear on the screen, and then the whiteboard was able to play the sounds back to the children. Now, this was part of a planned experience. Afterwards, some of the children wanted to stay and continue playing with this technology. So, Vicky stayed there to scaffold and guide their learning and quickly found that each child had their own ways of playing with it. For example, one child simply liked putting the words on the screen, while another child liked hearing the silly noises that the whiteboards made, while another child actually used the phonics, the knowledge of phonics that they had to create words that sounded realistic. And then Vicky also framed the children as being the experts in technology and often often encouraged the children to teach her how to use technology, and also encourage older children to teach younger children how to use the technologies as well. By doing this, let me look at my notes real quick. By doing this, it strengthens children's mastery over digital tools, which provides the foundation for literacy learning as well as problem solving skills, as cited in Birds and Edwards 2015, page 1158, Hartle 2020, page 23, Vygotsky 1978, as cited in Zhao and Roberts 2024, page 8. The study then concludes that by re-examining your own beliefs through observation and reflection, educators are able to view things from a diverse perspective and incorporate digital technologies to enhance children's learning and play. Another factor that prevents educators from incorporating digital technologies would be educators' own lack of knowledge. Unheim 2022, page 9. Therefore, Naibin et al. 2024, page 576, argues that digital technology should actually be incorporated in training programs for educators to further develop educators' digital literacy, and so educators can also know how to use them effectively in early childhood settings. However, on a smaller scale, as Vicky did, educators can reflect collaboratively as it expands the reflection process and allows educators to improve their pedagogical practices. Quinones et al. 2018, page 29. This is very important to educators in Australia, as we must help children learn about digital technologies. Fellows in Oakley, 2024, page 521. Furthermore, page 63 of the Early Years Learning Framework states that children must use digital technologies to be effective communicators, AGDE 2022. Digital technology is proven to assist children's oral language development, critical life skills, as well as mathematical concepts such as properties of shape and geometrical consequences. Fellows at Oakley 2024, page 525, Omotunde et al. 2024, page 101, Zhao and Roberts 2025, page 7. The second study that I'd like to talk about is by Harris et al. 2025. They talk about families' a strong desire for children to learn their home language and culture, and also that families worry a lot because when children learn two languages, there is a big belief that children will compromise one language over the other. Because of that, this study actually takes place in a culturally and linguistically diverse childcare center that focuses on helping immigrants who recently arrived in Australia and are still learning English. The researchers also found that a lot of multilingual children engage in multimodal play, such as attaching text to pictures or recording pretend play using prompts. The researchers thought that a good way of incorporating children's interests and families' beliefs, needs, and goals, and their funds of knowledge, is to co-create a book, with it being child and family led. This also provides the educators at the childcare center to be more involved with the families, as this kind of project gives the educators an opportunity to speak with the parents more, perhaps bridge the communication gap, as most of the educators are bilingual and can help translate. And the researchers were very aware of families' needs and interests by ensuring that appropriate times and locations were being considered to be as convenient for families. They also asked families which language they would like to communicate in and how to communicate. For example, one family preferred to use email, while another preferred to use WhatsApp. One family preferred to speak primarily in English, while another family preferred to speak in their native language instead. This study involved 12 different families and their children, and goes into 3 of them in depth as case studies. What they found was, for most, if not all, of the children and their families, a different approach was actually taken to best suit their culture, needs, and goals. For example, one child used an application on their tablet an application on their tablet to create the books, while another child from a different family picked photos and chose the photos that they would put in the books instead. These books actually helped children see themselves in what they read, and promotes their multilingualism and strengthens relationships with extended family, as the extended family has things to talk about through the book. The book is what they talk about. The paper concludes that educators should support families' multiliteracy by building strong, trusting relationships. This is very important for educators in Australia because the Early Years Learning Framework outlines that educators should create a safe and reciprocal relationships with children, respect diversity, and should be culturally responsive. HDE 2022, pages 14, 16, and 23. Louis 2023, page 107 states that when school and home are disconnected, children are placed at a big disadvantage. Therefore, educators should collaborate with families and make a culturally safe and secure environments in order to best support children's learning and development. AGDE 2022, page 16. Fellows at Oakley 2024, page 78, also reminds educators to try to identify different best practices for children from a culturally diverse background. Fellows at Oakley 2024, page 87, continues to explain that as children's home is an ideal setting for language, children's oral communication, Educators should involve families more often, such as allowing them to provide daily input into the daily program through Bronfenbrenner's theory. Fellows and Oakley 2024, page 88, Nolan and Raban 2024, page 36. In conclusion, when educators collaborate with families and incorporate digital technologies into their play, they're able to provide new and novel learning experiences for children to develop their multi-literacies and development. Thank you.